Hi Cliff Central, got my Satsuma again. In case you were wondering, last week's Satsuma unfortunately was dry. It was very disappointing. I'm hoping this one is better. But we're going to use this for another thing this week. What is going to happen when I let go of my Satsuma? Yep, you know, it's going to fall. Shall we test it? Yep, it fell. What's going to happen if I do it again? Fell again. So we all know why this is, don't we? The force of gravity acts on the Satsuma to pull it down. And every time I drop it, it falls. Gravity is totally dependable. We can trust on it 100% to keep our feet on the ground. And indeed, life without gravity would be rather chaotic. If suddenly gravity failed, everything would be floating around. That would be exciting. And like gravity, God is totally dependable. He never changes. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His steadfast love never ceases, and his mercies never end. God is faithful. Now, our faithful God always keeps his promises, and we can depend on him to do what he says he will do. Now, the Bible is full of accounts of God's faithfulness to his people. In fact, the whole Bible is a testament of God's faithfulness, as we see through all the chapters how he loves and cares for his people. Now, right at the very beginning of the Bible, God promises to save us from the consequences of our rebellion against him. We deserve death, but God promises life. And then thousands of years later, God faithfully keeps his promise when he saved us from death. He sent his own son Jesus to earth to live a perfect life and to take upon himself the punishment that we deserve for the wrong things that we do. Jesus died instead of us, and God accepted this payment and raised him back to life. And this means we can be forgiven and live forever with God. This was the promise from the beginning. God is faithful. He keeps his promises. We can depend on him, trust in him. Now, one of my favourite verses in the Bible is from Lamentations. It's in chapter 3, and it's verses 22 and 23. And it goes like this. The Lord loves us very much, so we haven't been completely destroyed. His loving concern never fails. His great love is new every morning. Lord, how faithful you are. The Bible also says that we're supposed to be faithful to God. Faithfulness is the sixth fruit of the Spirit that Paul mentions in Galatians 5. Our faithfulness to God is not the same as God's faithfulness to his people. When God is faithful to us, he cares for us, leads us, and loves us. Our faithfulness to God means trusting in him and loving him in all circumstances. It means following his rule even when we'd rather choose a different way. Now, there are many examples of faithful people throughout the Bible. Hebrews chapter 11 gives a great summary of some of the Old Testament heroes who are praised for their faithfulness. It begins like this. Faith is being sure of what we hope for. It is being sure of what we do not see. It is what the people of long ago were praised for. And it goes on to mention some of those people. It mentions Abel and Enoch, Noah and Abraham. It mentions Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and Moses and Rahab and Gideon and Samson. And it talks about how they were faithful to God throughout their difficult circumstances. Now, I wonder if you can find time this week to read through that chapter, either on your own or with an adult, and be encouraged by some of the faithful people who have lived before us. Once you've done this, why not think about some of the things your family has done because of their faith in God, their faithfulness to God? These are times when your family has obeyed God, when you did what was right, when you have shown faith in Him, when you show that He knows what is best for you. As we invite the Holy Spirit into our lives, He enables us to grow in faithfulness, prompting us to trust and follow God's ways rather than our own.